to Origa. Man, I'm not gonna say his name right. I'm just so bad with names that aren't straight up like Rick or John or Easy. But Origa in chat joining us, and he is the guy who helped make a lot of these introductions. So make sure you give him a nice hello, especially if you enjoy them. It was his idea, by the way, to use Cactar for Cactus Valley. So if you really like Cactus Valley, it's all him to thank for it. That being said, we're not in Cactus Valley. We are here in Coda. It's game number 1 of a brand new best of 3, and spawning in the top left corner of the map, it's gonna be. And oh man, I'm gonna say this so poorly, so sorry French folks in the audience. Nuit Blanche, PtitDrogo.
In the bottom right position as the red Zerg, it's Namshar.
And someone start the clock about 4 minutes, because, you know, stream delay on Twitter. The guy of Nazca, probably TKL, and several others make fun of me. It just happens, and I've given up. Because I don't want to go full white guy, but like, it's PtitDrogo. It's Night Blanche's PtitDrogo. It's just, I'll try and go in French, but it's just not gonna happen.
You did a pretty good job. God.
I feel like anytime I try and say his name though, it is like that guy who tries to pronounce croissant as croissant. Like
baguette.
Like, yep. Can you not try so hard, please, sir? Thank you.
Yeah, when do we ever like make fun of like other people trying harder, right? Like when Koreans can't pronounce a word, I'm just like, oh.
Oh, yeah, you know what? That's a good point. Like, at least I'm trying here, guys. All right, yeah, French sons ago.
Well, the French actually have, apparently, as what I've learned correctly from my French classes, a whole like system of like high-profile people that determine what words are legitimately French and what is not.
Really?
So like. Yeah, they'll like actually like officially be put of like in the dictionary like French words. So a lot of like new words.
Shadow Council.
Yeah, I guess so. But like new words like from you know, technology and stuff, you know, had to wait a while before they were like an official word.
Well, I did not know that. That's kind of cool. Big thanks to DJ Chris Spear. A big congratulations to him too, as he makes his 1-year round trip, 12 months resubbed in a row. Welcome back, man. Now we do see, of course, the chat spam for Give Stefano. Guys, I know a lot of you want to see Stefano into Muslim and Ret, and there's all these names that keep getting requested in chat. Oh, Gaming is currently covering Stefano's games. I know Take TV was earlier too. There are so many streams covering these WCS qualifiers. If you're not seeing a match you want to see here, go check out Team Liquid and come back a little bit later, because maybe we'll have somebody like down the line. But Namshar and Drogo, I think are two pretty good players. They've both qualified before. Drogo's qualification video last season was hilarious. If you didn't see it, Penguin posted it. He is basically super excited at his computer. Namshar hasn't, I don't think he qualified last season, but I think it was like the season before. Either way, a pretty good player as well. So we really want to catch this match, because I think these two are pretty close on skill, and they are fairly, not the biggest contenders, but fairly large contenders when it comes to who's going to get one of those 4 spots today.
All right. The biggest problem, though, is that if PtitDrogo like feels like it, you know, I guess depending on where he is today and his mindset. But if he goes for all lins and cheeses, then Namshar is weak against that, if not necessarily Protoss in general. So hopefully Namshar is on guard for that, and he's practiced against that, and they have a decent shots to get through. Of course, this is the last qualifier. There's at least one more that's open to basically everyone. So not tomorrow, but the next day. It's back and forth for NA and EU.
I really love that they did that this year.
Well, instead of 2 at once, yeah, it's nice for us.
That was the worst. Last season, of course, we're covering the qualifiers. That's like, okay, we just finished 7 hours of WCS Europe. Let's start WCS America.
Yeah, and what didn't work out is that we just, you know, we'd be like, oh, well, at least you have like 4 more days of like, you know, not casting. Well, it's not ever true. We have so many like daily, weeklies that is now. That's we're always pushing back something.
I'm stoked for that though. I remember there was a time last year right around this time where I was begging and wishing like, oh my god, I wish we had more to cast. I hate having nothing to do, but now that we got so much, it's not a bad thing. Third base gonna try to go down, but Namshar's not gonna be able to get this room. Nopes its way back into the base pretty quick.
Yeah, it is going to be a 4-gate attack from PtitDrogo, so we're going to be a little bit dedicated than, you know, 3 gateways, obviously. In 3 gateways, even, like, you don't need to have to attack with it, but 4-gate, you're definitely looking for some type of damage done. Now, against someone who doesn't have a 3rd base, it gets a little more, like, it gets weirder, because, you know, your usual goal for doing any aggression is to kill their most outlying expansion, the 4th or the 3rd, but now you're just going right into their natural. We're gonna have Burr on the way, which is kind of a cool move. Maybe thinking about the future and what this 4-gate could lead into. You know, if it's an aggression that's going to lead into a third base, or if it's aggression that's going to lead into a follow-up all-in. Really Protoss it up. But Burrow should be good against this if it finishes.
Well, Burrow's going to also make sure that you minimize losses, which I think is going to be the number one thing, because it's... When you fight these all-ins, you're going to bleed out 1 unit at a time, 2 units at a time, and that's where it starts getting out of control, and that's where your opponent really takes the lead.
First, take a long time to finish. Idle thoughts. Well, this third will have to be cancelled. Maybe he'll try and save the drone. I doubt it. He did. He did.
I mean, it's not like Namshar doesn't have the tools to fight this, but it's still a lot of energy in those sentries. A lot of force fields that could still go down. What? This Burrow is going to be such a big deal if he gets these roaches caught out of position. Now, it does suck because, I mean, Drogo doesn't even have to really follow this up. He's already denied the third for some time. He's done well, how? Are you serious, guy? Are you for real? He's done damage to this. It's not been bad. A recall wouldn't even be that horrible as long as it saves the sentries.
Burrow.
Bro. He actually starts pulling back instead of burrowing. Maybe he doesn't want to reveal the burrow. I mean, that's not a bad choice either.
Maybe. You only lose 1 roach, but you hide that burrow's in play. That might be a good maneuver. The third base was cleaned up for PtitDrogo. Took out the Overlord, so he's going to try and plant it when the creep disappears. But now we have a lot of roaches, you know, and now it's going to be quite difficult for him to get a third base up without detection. Do we have a robo? No. The only thing we have are cannons for detection, and those are, well, they just might not get up at the third base.
Well, this would be nice that if you get the sentries, but 2 different ramps to have to worry about. It's not going to be an easy task. Now he chooses to reveal that burrow. And as you pointed out, not a lot of detection. Just that 1 cannon here in the main ramp, so it's might actually go down as he tears down that first gateway. Storms on in, not a lot of force fields left. Goes to the force field on the main ramp. This actually does lead way for the units to come in from behind. But Namshar, really, again, there's no detection here. Not that there's very little or it's coming out soon. There's no observers queued up. There's no cannons on the way. These sentries are dying. Drogo, man, I don't think he was expecting this off the back end of his own aggression, but he's bleeding out just about every sentry. Burrow goes down. Unburrow's on the side. Sentries walk through. Unburrow might snipe all these.
Unburrow. Oh my god. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, takes out the
Burrow
sentries.
again after killing 4 sentries.
Yeah, get away.
All those roaches.
Oh, gets the sentry at the top of the ramp too. This is just getting out of control. Such a small amount of roaches are such a big threat. No detection. This Burrow tech, it was what I thought originally defensive, but ends up being almost game-winning. More roaches funneling through to the natural base. It's not getting better. It's getting worse. More sentries getting picked off. Cannons going down. Probes getting pulled into the roaches. This is looking really bad, Zombie Grub.
It is. I think, you know, you brought up that you thought Burrow was defensive, not offensive. I think PtitDrogo thought the same thing. He's thinking, wow, I denied a third for so much longer than it already was delayed. I'm going to be in pretty good shape, and just did not account for the fact that there could be a ton of roaches about to attack him. Maybe he would have invested into a robo a lot sooner instead of that third base, gotten both an observer and a couple of immortals to help out.
Oh my god, how do you recover for this? There's no detection on the way. There's no detection anywhere to speak. If he can't defend the main, he's still bleeding out probes. I think Namshar has done it. His army supply is 80 over 16. GG, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 1 gonna go to Namshar.
See you.
Well played.